What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Review for To Your Eternity Season 2. This is episode 2, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spit.
So, okay, I haven't read the manga part of this storyline, but I really feel like that too much happened too quickly in this episode.
Oh, yeah,
especially
definitely.
by the second half. It's just
I have mixed feelings about the episode overall, to be honest. Apparently, because I believe we were discussing, saying we did think that it was the same people working on season 2, but I did hear that I think this is actually a different director doing season 2. I can't confirm that, but that is what I've been hearing. So it would kind of make sense, but I feel like they are. It feels like the pacing has really they're going pretty fast through a lot of stuff. It could be like this in the manga, but it really feels like the pacing is they were going at a breakneck pace this episode, especially with all the time skips later on. It could slow down after this, but I felt like everything happened too quick in this episode, to be honest.
I mean, of course, the episode picks up immediately after what happened. After what happened last week, but what happens is Tonari is trying to cut out the knocker that's inside Hisami's arm before before the knocker inside Hisami's arms, I guess, infected Tonari with something. I don't know if it cut off her blood circulation or infected her with a virus, but
I'm not exactly sure. It's basically they said that it was eating her from the inside or something like that.
Yeah, and the way that Hisami escapes, or actually the knocker escapes inside Hisami, is just almost something you see from the thing, from the way
it pretty much functions like a parasite, like the thing, the knocker that's in Hisami's arm, and then as we'll see throughout the episode that it is in all the other descendants as well.
Yeah, and of course, soon afterwards, Tonari is bedridden the next day, and Fushi finds out that she's eventually going to die pretty soon. But the thing about it is that he doesn't know that this is Tonari until much later.
Yeah, of course, I mean, as is typical of this series, tragically, he does not find out until after she dies.
Yeah.
Also, that's my biggest gripe with this episode is how Tonari's character was handled. Again, this could happen the same way in the manga, but I don't really like that she was reintroduced in the first episode and then just in this episode, pretty much in the beginning of the episode, just to die. I really wish that we could have had a little bit more time with her character. So if they are going to kill her off, then her death would feel more impactful, because the way they handled it here, I feel I don't really feel anything about it. I mean, it sucks because I'm kind of disappointed because I did like her character in season 1. But I feel like the way she died could have been, I don't know. It's just overall, I just feel like it went by way too quick. She died, like I said, in the beginning of the episode, and I feel like she should have died much later on in the series, maybe even a few episodes later. But I feel like she just died way too quick after she had just been reintroduced.
Yeah,
and she pretty much dies off screen too. We just hear about it from the guy who was accompanying her that she passed away.
Yeah, and we also find out that several people have also passed away during the 40-year time skip. I mean, we also know that Rin somehow passed away during that time, as well as several other characters that Fushi's interacted with, including one of the guy he fought in the what was it, in the gladiatorial arena, but he ended up sparing the guy to save his brother. But we find out that he's already dead, but we don't know the circumstances of how each of those characters died. Especially we also find out that that Gugu's older brother also passed on as well.
Yeah, it also kind of sucks those characters died off screen as well. Because I was kind of hoping that maybe we would see those characters again, but I guess not. But of course, it's not until after Tonari dies that, you know, Fushi finds out that it was Tonari.
Yeah, he only finds out about it is because of the journal that she still holds, and also the tattoo on her hand.
Because he's now able to take her form as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so soon afterwards, he meets up with Hisami again, but instead of wanting to kill her, he decides to help her out. I guess calm down the knocker in her left arm, and this is what where things get a little bit weird between them is in which
I already kind of suspected this was the case, because if you remember Hayase from season 1, this was her, like, this is what she wanted, is she wanted to basically she wanted Fushi to impregnate her with children. So like it's not really surprising to me that this is also what her descendants wanted as well.
Of course, neither of them know how to really do it. So
and that introduced like a ton of questions to me as well, because like as his creator informs him later, like he does have reproductive organs, but like you're telling me like he's never had any sort of like sexual thoughts or anything like that. To me, like the only thing that makes sense, because of course we do have major time skips in this episode of hundreds of years, and I guess we're to assume he's not done anything like that in that amount of time. But I mean, of course we don't see it. But the only thing that makes sense to me is like Fushi is like completely asexual, like he has no sexual desire at all. Because otherwise I don't understand how he could go like hundreds and hundreds of years and never like feel any sort of like anything like that. So yeah, like it's just very confusing, but they never really, I don't know if they really go into that too much.
Yeah, it's just the second half of the episode is just Fushi traveling around the world pretty much as a wanderer, because most of the time he would stay in a certain place for every couple days just to avoid the knockers trying to look for him. And if they do end up finding him, he would end up finding them off, and then of course eating them soon afterwards. Then at the same time, he, I guess he continually meets the descendants of Hayase, one after the other, and each one of them has, this weird attachment, towards Fushi, and of course Fushi tries to, push off their advances numerous times, and of course, most of them get uncomfortable whenever he transforms into Tonari, and and then it gets to the point where we see like a male descendant of Hayase, but that's where the episode ends off from there. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty mixed on this episode in terms of Tonari's death and the reasonings for them to do numerous time skips in this episode compared to how they handled it in the last one.
Yeah, the only thing that we know that Fushi's been doing all this time is he's been, I guess, educating himself by reading all these books and just traveling around to different places. We learned some new things about, like, I guess how the knockers work in terms of how, with them trying to go after Fushi, they only really like try to attack Fushi on the third day when he goes to a new place. So after the third day, he has to leave and go somewhere else. And I guess that's what he's been doing all this time. I don't know. Maybe they'll go more into it in future episodes.
What's funny is like in the first season, Fushi was living with Gugu for several years, and the knockers never really made any attempts to go after him during that time.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So
yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I have mixed feelings about the episode because like I don't know how to feel about it just doing this huge time skip of like 300 years. Like I would assume it's about 300 years, considering all the different descendants of Hayase that we see. But I don't know. Like I have so many questions. I'm like, has technology advanced in the world? Like, what has Fushi been up to really? Like, I don't know. Like we kind of see just snippets of it, I guess, but I don't know. It's just, I feel like if you're going to do like a major time skip like that, you need to like show that, I guess, that Fushi has like, there's just been a lot that's happened to him, but it just kind of seems like his character hasn't changed too much from after we see him like post time skip.
No, most of the time he says he wants to make friends, but at the same time he doesn't want to get too close to anyone because he doesn't want to form too many personal attachments like he did before.
Yeah, because of the pain of losing people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like it kind of feels like we're off to a bit of a rough start in season 2, to be honest. Like, I'm kind of hoping it gets a little bit better, but yeah, I feel like it kind of like, it just feels like it kind of rushed through certain things with the second episode. But maybe it's just trying to get to whatever arc they're trying to adapt in this season. But yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. It's also considering that this season is 20 episodes long, like the first season, but it's just I don't know how much they're really planning on adapting, and I've been spoiled a little bit of where this is going to end up, but I just don't know. Like I said, I haven't read the manga. I don't know the full details of what's going to happen. I guess when Fushi lives not to not to poke fun at the title, but he lives like so far into the future where technology advances so far. But yeah, hopefully it'll get to that point, but I'm not sure if they're gonna adapt it in this season.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have too much else to say about the episode. It wasn't bad, like it was okay. But like I said, I feel like it just it feels like it glosses over a lot of things.
Yeah.
And also the big thing to me was just how Tonari's death was handled as well. It just felt very it felt a little bit lazy to me. And I feel like she should have lasted a little bit longer after, her character is just like showing up again. A lot of we do get some of it, but I really kind of wanted to know more of like what she's been up to and like how her character has developed after all this time. And we don't really we get a little bit of that in episode 1, but it's just kind of like, I feel like it's a bit of a missed opportunity. Like you just kill her off like really quick after she shows up again. Like, I don't know. It's because I got the impression she was going to be like, a major character, I guess, in this season, but apparently not. Same thing with Hisame, actually. I was actually kind of surprised when they ended up doing this time skip, because I thought that Hisame was going to be there throughout the season or something, but I guess not. She's just a pretty minor character because she's only there for the first 2 episodes and she's gone. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird. I'm not sure how I feel about that, especially with the opening too. It kind of seemed to imply to me like she was going to have a bigger role, but I guess not. But I don't know if you have anything else to say about the episode.
Yeah, I just felt like, I don't know, they probably could have adapted this from the manga, and it's still like, regardless if I were to read this part of the manga, it's still disappointing how they handled Tonari in particular. Yeah. Like they just reintroduced her and then she just immediately kill her off just a few chapters later. So it just,
it just feels it's just weird to me that they did it that way.
Yeah. And also the fact that learning that several other characters we've seen from the first season have also ended up dying as well, but we just don't know the circumstances of what's happened during those time skips, and neither do we find out about the numerous time skips we see in the second half of the episode with all these other descendants of Hayase just popping up left and right. Yeah.
Well, like I said, hopefully it does improve in the next episode. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But until next time, we will see you all later.